What's up, everyone? Mark White here from WrestledelphiaTV. I'm here with CZW owner, performer, and as I call him, the King of the Lariat, DJ Hyde. We're here to talk some CZW wrestling. 16th anniversary show coming up at the 2300 Arena, formerly known as Viking Hall, more popularly known as the ECW Arena. But we'll get to that in just a second. At any point in this video, and hopefully it's at the end, just click the ticket icon above. It's our logo. We'll take you right to WrestledelphiaTV where you can read a three-part interview that we did with JR, Jim Ross, Hall of Famer, and we have some other cool stuff on there, so just give us a check it out. But like I said, we're here to talk about Combat Zone Wrestling and its 16th anniversary show. And DJ, you've been around the company. You purchased it from Zandig, who founded the company, correct?
Correct.
And you got to see kind of what the product was in its early years, and you've been instrumental in the evolution of CZW. Just kind of reflect on those early years.
The early years of CZW were more or less based on guys that were ultra violent or guys that did a lot of crazy high spots. CZW's main thing, and it still is, it's about making stars. If you look at the guys who are the indie guys that this generation is looking up to, they came from CZW. I mean, if you look at the guys that WWE is signing now, they've come from CZW. If you look at the top guys in the independents, they're coming from CZW. They're guys that make their names here. It's just a little different mentality back then than I think it is now. The way John did things is a lot different than the way I do things. And it had more of a fan base, less competition. Now, there's wrestling all over. I mean, the arena was CZW's home. Fans might not know this, but CZW's ran more shows in the ECW arena than anyone in history, which includes ECW. With that being said, it's kind of a homecoming to us. We had our dojo, which, we're currently in our new dojo, CZW Wrestling Academy. Our dojo was there. Our training facility was in the back of the building. We ran shows there. It was basically, it was our home. And, when the changeover happened, obviously, we were there for a while, and then the building got bought out. And we made some moves. Now, predominantly, our home is at Flyer Skate Zone, but this is a big return for us. And just the main difference is, though, it's a different direction, different in how we do things, but we're still CZW.
How did this homecoming come about? I believe it was previously billed to take place at the Flyer Skate Zone, and I guess it was a few weeks later that it was announced at the 2300 Arena. That's where the 16th anniversary will take place. Was that your idea, their idea?
I want to say in November. Yeah, I'd say in November I showed to arena management about us possibly returning. The original idea for us to return was to do a Royal Rumble weekend. At the time, House of Hardcore had a reserve on the date. I spoke to Tommy Dreamer, who I work with a lot, and he said, yeah, we're thinking about doing this. We reserved the date. Once I heard Tommy wasn't running, and then I think ROH announced that they were going to run, I literally was like, well, I'm not doing that. And I was just going to stick to my plan and do what we normally do and, run our big show. I looked at it as a way to promote our anniversary because I like to make our anniversary a big thing, especially considering we've been in business longer than all these companies, and it just seemed like the way to go. Typically, CZW runs the second Saturday of every month. It's been that way for more than a decade and a half, and I don't plan on changing that at any time because consistency is a good thing. The second Saturday of the month of February happens to be Valentine's Day. I looked back previous to when I owned the company and looked at what CZW drew running on Valentine's Day, and that was a bad thing. So I decided to change the date. I went to management at the Flyer Skate Zone and I said, hey, I would like to move our date to either the first weekend of the month or to the third. At the time, I didn't have commitments myself on either one of those weekends. And that was probably in November. And they were just like, yeah. We moved dates with them a couple of times. It's just things the day that we announced the arena show, Flyer Skate Zone called me at about 10 a.m. and said, "Are you planning on running a show on the 21st?" I said, "Yeah, we discussed this several times." He's like, "I have something booked in here." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "The Flyers booked a camp in here." I said, "A skate camp?" He said, "No, it's an overnight camp," which I think it's like a youth fellowship group or something like that comes in there, and they stay overnight. And I'm not real clear what they do, but I just know that they had it double booked. So through most of that day, we literally went back and forth to, hey, can we make this work? Is there a way that we can schedule around this? Can they move days? Maybe we can do the show around them and allow them to come to the show and try to make it work for everybody and involved. And I know that Mark said that this is just CZW's. I also own WSU, which is our women's promotion. It's also their 8th anniversary, which is actually a doubleheader with CZW, and they'll be going on at 4 p.m. at 2300 Arena. So I should bring that. We should definitely talk about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Considering that's a big part of our anniversary weekend. At that point, I hit up Arena. I hit up a couple other buildings that I know are local in our area, and we've discussed a number of things where we've discussed moving out Skate Zone and doing a lot of different things. I mean, there's a lot that's gone on in recent months, but the only place that was available was the arena. And we contacted arena management. Since the time that we were there, there's been a lot of change, and it's a very special building to a lot of people, especially me included. To me, I could literally tell you, at one point I was in that building more than I was in my own house. And we spoke to them. They had the date available. From there, we negotiated it, worked out things, and I think later that evening, at about 10 o'clock, we announced it. And the venue change is a good thing. It literally just came out of an error. It was, we didn't have something in writing. Our contract at Skate Zone said, we have to be there on the 14th, and it was kind of like, hey, we're moving the date. And they're like, yeah, no problem. And, management booked something else, and unbeknownst to who I deal with, now we're back home. It's good to come back to Philly, and it's going to be, hopefully a very big event. I've tried to make this event super special.
You're mentioning the women's superstars, Uncensored, doubleheader show, and I think we talked about this earlier in the week about you're doing a TLC match, first in company history for women's.
First in company history, first in anything I can find either. Any major independent promotion or even the major television promotions have not done a TLC match that I can see recorded anywhere on the internet. And I couldn't pick two better girls to do it with Athena and I. They've had a bit of a rivalry going lately, and this is something that's going to really separate this company from others. It's a match that I don't think anybody that is a wrestling fan can sit there and come up with, hey, I remember when this girl and this girl did this. WWE's never done it. Impact's never done it. The other major women's independent, Shimmer, Shine, they've never done anything remotely even in the realm of this. I checked out some Canadian promotions like Femme Fatales that we do business with. They've never done it either. So, I have not found a women's TLC match. I found ladder matches. I found tables matches, but nothing with the TLC play. So it was literally the right way to go.
And how much does it cost to get guys in the door? It's $20, right? Gets you in the door.
You can go to either show for general admission because that is all that is left available. Because the front 2 rows are, and I think most of the third are gone at this point. But general admission tickets are $20 to each show, or at the door only, you can get a combo ticket where you can go to both shows for $30, which is a pretty good deal considering you're seeing some of the best women's wrestling. One of the top independent companies with CZW in the country.
What can fans expect now that CZW is returning home?
What can you expect? We bring a product that's not like anything else. My goal with CZW and professional wrestling has always been something for everybody. every wrestling fan has something they're into, something they're like. They like different guys, they like different styles, they like different matches, for whatever reasons. Here, we do it all. We're going to give you guys that are, great in-ring performers and technical wrestlers. You're going to have great talkers, great characters. You're going to have guys doing things in a ring that are unimaginable. Physically, the high-flying guys that can do things that are just unbelievable. You're going to have guys that go out there and they beat the crap out of each other. You're going to have great stories, and you're going to have ultra violence. You're not doing a hardcore match with just tables and chairs and stuff. You're going to see barbed wire and glass and light tubes and things along those lines that is literally a CZW brand. Past that, I want those Philly fans. I want the toughest crowd. That was our home. One of the things about the CZW crowd is anybody in professional wrestling that is a wrestler, this crowd is unlike anywhere else. And I want to challenge them and everybody else out there to show me. He briefly touched on the Royal Rumble in the opening of this and how the Philly crowd, people say the Philly crowd was just brutal and that's Philly. No. That crowd demands excellence. And in CZW, they demand even more. And I want those people to show up. I want that environment. I want those crazy, hardcore wrestling fans that, that they live and breathe this. I want that arena crowd. I want that building full and sold out with crazy fans, and I want to deliver a show that's truly like nothing else.
And speaking of the show itself, I didn't touch on this, have to touch on it. Possibly the hottest tag team on the planet, in the galaxy at the moment, the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are going to make their CZW debut.
Yes, they're wrestling OI4K for the CZW World Tag Team titles. And I think OI4K is the most underrated team in wrestling. They're a team that doesn't get the credit they deserve. They're just as good as everybody else out there, but just due to some fortunate decisions or things like that, they're the team that's wrestled everybody. They're the team that people are like, yeah, we love those guys. And the Bucks are the hottest thing in wrestling. They are probably the best thing to the circus coming to town, because it's basically what they are. There will be super kicks. That's basically the joke that is going around. But you're going to have the Young Bucks taking on OI4K as the main match build, and fans in CZW know all about OI4K and all the guys in Ohio. Jake and Dave Christ, formerly known as the Irish Airborne. I mean, they are a team to be reckoned with, and I think the Bucks are going to be up against a lot with them.
Yeah, what do you expect from their match? In particular, do you think that it's going to be a different kind of match for the Young Bucks?
I think the Young Bucks, I've known Nick and Matt for a long time, and CCW is not a place that I think that they ever saw themselves because of what we're known for. They have a perception. This company has a big perception of what it is and has for a long time because we do ultra violence. Because we do it, and we do it better than anybody else, and nobody else really even can touch it. And they were like, well, I don't know about that place. It's a little scary there, And Jake and Dave, this is their home. It's family to them. Whether they have issues with guys here in the wrestling ring or not, to them, those three letters that you see behind us right now is very important to them. And they look at themselves as underlooked, underrated. Why aren't people talking about them? They're just as good, if not better. And this match to them is very personal. I know Jake wrote on his Facebook page a very personal message about it. It was long, and it was kind of like him cutting a promo and saying, guys, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. I expect this match to be something that is going to tear this house down. I expect it to be a tag match that the Young Bucks have not walked into this environment, this crowd, this company, and they are wrestling one of the best teams in the universe. And the best teams in the universe have a chip on their shoulder because those guys are looked at as the greatest thing in the world. And they're going to go out to prove that they are the greatest thing in the world. And I think the Bucks are going to be in for a rude awakening.
Now, as you can see, we're in a wrestling ring. We are in the CZW Academy, home of Dojo Wars. And DJ, maybe you could touch a little bit on, kind of what goes on in this ring on any given night?
Well, at the CZW Wrestling Academy, it's the place where you will learn the business. We are teaching people here how to become the superstars of tomorrow and how to actually survive and live in our business. We've been very successful at it. The Academy's been around for close to 18 years now. Some of the top independent talent has come out, or some of the top talent you see on television. Guys like, have come and trained here. Guys like Cesaro. Cesaro was one of my training partners. I mean, me and him trained here extensively. Guys like Dean Ambrose, are better known to CZW fans as John Moxley. Me and John, Sammy Callahan, who's now Solomon Crow, Sami Zayn, who's El Generico, Kevin Owens, who is Kevin C. They're all guys that have been here. They've all come through this academy or spent time in CZW or have trained here. Some of the top independent talent out there now, Drew Gulak, Adam Cole, and just to name a couple, guys have come in for seminars or trained with us for time periods like Big Busix. There's a great part of the CZW roster that's trained here, and we're teaching you the business. CZW is a huge international company where we do tours in Europe, we do tours in Japan, Mexico. We're working on Canada because there's a demand for us there. And that speaks volumes for who we are. So we are basically here to teach you how to become a professional wrestler. I myself, this is my job. I don't do anything else. I represent those 3 letters, but I wrestle for a living. I have no other job. I don't get up at 9 to 5 and go into the office and punch a clock. I'm a professional wrestler. Now, I do not wrestle for WWE. I have worked for them plenty of times. But I make my living doing this, in this ring. We're promoting, because obviously I'm the owner and promoter of shows. But predominantly paying my bills. And I teach, not just myself, but myself and Drew Gulak and Mike Keener, who are the trainers here currently. We're teaching you and preparing you for a career in this business. Whether you want to be a weekend warrior, whether you just have a dream, whether it's, your goal is just to wrestle on your local promotion, or your goal is to actually get to WWE, or something else. Whatever it is to you, we are trying to prepare you for that. And we take this very, very seriously. We're not here just to take people's money. A lot of wrestling schools are like that. We are not. What goes on in this ring is preparing you for that, whether it's in this ring, whether it's behind the scenes, social media, teaching people. We are going to teach you everything from every avenue, no matter if you want to be a referee, a valet. We have people that are here for production now. We have interns. We have a lot of different avenues, and, fans are meeting one of our newest trainees right here. Mark is now entered into the CZW Wrestling Academy. He's only been here a few days. And I think it's definitely been a rude awakening for him. But, it's not for everybody. But if this is something you want to do, this is the place to be. I could sit here and I say this to everybody. I could sell you on why we're the latest, greatest thing, and that you need to come here. The bottom line is if you want to come here, 1, those 3 letters behind me stand for a lot. Number 2, I also own a women's promotion, and we have a lot of female students right now. And WSU is one of the top women's companies in the United States. People like AJ Lee, WSU girl right there. Paige, WSU girl right there. Her mom, Saraya Knight, WSU girl. Some of the top women's wrestlers, period, are there. Lufisto, Kimberly, Leva Bates. You might know her as Blue Pants if you watch the WWE Network. Mia Yim, all people that all were here. Mia Yim, another CZW Wrestling Academy graduate. All people that have come in here, and that gives you a great opportunity. On top of, we have a program called Dojo Wars, which is part of our training. It's a show that we do every other Wednesday. It's 5 matches for $5. Every match is designed to teach students something in the ring, whether it be challenging them some way, working on their characters, developing a move set, how to work a crowd, whatever it is. There's a number of things. I don't want to get into too many details because I will spoil things, and I really don't want to do that. But anybody who wants to come down, you can reach out to me via the CZW website. Check out all the information there. It's only $100 a month. You're not going to find a wrestling school that cheap anywhere that's definitely credible. And has a good reputation, good trainers, good background. on top of all the other things, we have a lot of connections. We have guys. Al Snow's been here. Les Thatcher's been here. Tommy Dreamer's been here. The Hurricane's been here. Kevin Nash has been here. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on of guys we've had come in here. And it's just a benefit to our students and the future of combat zone wrestling. On top of that, you'll learn how to, get body slammed, take suplexes, all the other stuff. And our good friend Mark here is going to be he'll be documenting all this very soon.
Yep.
You can check all that out. Just go to the CZW website. Or if you want to definitely set up a tryout, email me at djhyde@czwrestling.com.
All right, well, folks, that's about all we have right now. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. Basically any other, basically every video tells you to do it for us. And down in the description box, it's going to have all the information for CZW social media sites. Click the links, follow, subscribe, come out February 21st. It doesn't break the bank to see some great wrestling, and February 21st sounds like it's going to be a great show for both the women and the boys at CZW. For DJ Hyde, myself, Mark White, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Later.